Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is Daniel, and I'm so glad that each and every one of you are here today. On this very special episode, we're going to be continuing the C.S. Lewis Signature Classic box set. We've been going through a collection of C.S. Lewis's classic works. We've been going book by book, and I've been doing a book review of each book within this collection. We're down to the last two books, Mere Christianity and the Abolition of Man. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about a book that has been very influential in modern Christianity. A book that was created during very trying, dark times. And that book is Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis is no simple stringing together of words and pages. No, Mere Christianity started out as a series of radio broadcasts during World War II. The head of the religious radio department for BBC read C.S. Lewis's The Problem of Pain, saw C.S. Lewis's genius, and said, "I have to have this man on my show." And C.S. Lewis became a guest on the show for years afterwards. First, after it was a radio broadcast, it was put together as a series of pamphlets, and once finalized as a book, C.S. Lewis sent Mere Christianity to different church denominations to get their opinion, because his point was to write about mere Christianity. He wanted to leave different denominational differences out of the book. He wanted to get down to the grassroots of what it means to follow Christ. So this book truly is the culmination of years of writing, years of scrutiny and speculation. He sent it out to different churches, prominent church leaders, and C.S. Lewis wanted to make sure he wasn't adding too much of one thing or leaving too much of another thing out, and the church leaders sent back the responses. C.S. Lewis took it into consideration, and in 1952, this book was finally put into print as one continuous masterpiece. So today, like with every other book review, I'm simply going to be going through Mere Christianity, talking about the different sections of the book, bringing up any of my personal favorite parts of it. But like always, I'm not reading this book to you. You need to go pick up Mere Christianity for yourself and read through the pages. This is a book that I keep on my phone, and when I have downtime, I simply scroll through and read. And the reason that you can go through this book time and time again and keep reading it like it's something new is because this is no simple story to skim through. This has really dense segments of Christian wisdom, of apologetics, that you can read through and pick up on something that you may have missed the first time around. So like always, this is only a brief overview of a brilliant masterpiece that you must read yourself. If you follow the link in the description below, it'll take you right to where you can get the book. Pick up a copy for yourself and read it. Put it down, chew on it, pick it up and read it again. I find the messages, the ideas, the apologetics to be very mentally stimulating and also enjoyable at the same time. So now that I've gotten that spiel over, go ahead, pick up your copy of the book, but now we're going to dive into the overview, the review of Mere Christianity. So Mere Christianity was a series of radio broadcasts. It eventually became a series of pamphlets, and the book reflects it as such. It is still written in 4 parts: Book 1, Book 2, Book 3, and Book 4. Each book within the book is relating to a different aspect of Christianity. Every topic presented, every idea discussed in this book was being sent to ears of men that were going off to war. And so that really gives you a feel for how serious C.S. Lewis was when writing these radio broadcasts. He was doing his best to give these men who were facing their final moments hope, courage, faith in something greater than themselves. So starting off strong, Book 1 is titled Right and Wrong as a Clue to the Meaning of the Universe. And this is where C.S. Lewis is using objective morality as an argument for Christianity. He's talking about how there are morals that we all agree on, and C.S. Lewis dives much deeper into this topic in his book, The Abolition of Man, but he's using Book 1 to argue his case for Christianity using the morals that we all agree in. morals that have lasted time, that have been passed on from civilization to civilization. And he's explaining that whenever you observe the objective moral law, that it can point you in the direction of the existence of God. In book 2, titled What Christians Believe, C.S. Lewis juxtaposes the belief of Christians versus the belief of atheists and argues that what atheists hold to be true is far too simple to explain the meaning and the existence of the universe. When C.S. Lewis is laying down these ideas and these arguments, he does it in such a captivating way. I always say when I'm talking about his books that his sentences are very dense. He says so much more in a sentence than many authors can say in an entire book. And that is certainly true while going through these books in Mere Christianity. In book 3 of Mere Christianity, C.S. Lewis heavily discusses Christian virtues. In many of his books, he talks about the importance of the existence of virtue. He talks about how some people, some ideologies attempt to tear down and destroy virtues. And in book 3, he's exploring, examining, and discussing Christian virtues. And that really does tie along with Christian belief, but it is in a more specific light. Whereas Christian belief is more vague, it's more about the idea of belief itself, where Christian virtues is much more of a deep dive into specific values that we uphold in Christian society. Now, book 4 was definitely my favorite part of Mere Christianity because this is where C.S. Lewis really brings up his ability to explain using analogy. He's going into apologetics. He's going into the Trinity. He's going into the existence of God. How can God be outside of time? And all of these things, which I find so intriguing. And C.S. Lewis has a way of explaining the existence of God in space and time, outside of time, in a way that never fails to blow my mind. If you ever read Out of the Silent Planet, even though it's a fictional book, he still can't help but try to discuss the spiritual dimension in a way that is always so perplexing and really makes me start scratching my head a little bit. But he does such a great job of arguing how God could exist, how he could have always existed, and how the Trinity can make sense. At the end of book 4, C.S. Lewis derails an argument that is made all of the time, and that is, why do I need to be a Christian if I'm already a nice person? And he asks the question, was Christianity supposed to make nice men or new men? And the idea is that the argument is made on a completely false premise. Why do I need Christianity if I'm already nice? Because Christianity has nothing to do with being nice. He's saying that Christianity is all about transforming you as a person. C.S. Lewis goes on to explain that God isn't trying to make us the best version of ourselves. He's trying to make us completely something unlike ourselves and something completely like Christ. Whereas the world will tell you, be the best version of yourself, Christ would tell us we are flawed. We should not become the best version of ourselves because the best that we have to offer is filthy rags, and we are to be completely transformed into new men. So the object of Christianity isn't to make you nice. Therefore, saying that since you're already nice, you don't have to do anything is completely invalid. As an avid C.S. Lewis reader, I always try to grapple with these concepts and I always try to explain them to other people the best that I can, but I always fall short. One of my favorite analogies within the entire book is where he's talking about God existing outside of time and how that does not cause a problem for free will. Some may argue that if God knows what is going to happen next, then it means that it's already finished and you never really chose to do that in the first place. But C.S. Lewis says that if God is outside of time, it is comparable to somebody reading a book. Say I'm reading a book about Jane, and I can go and flip through to the end of the book and see what Jane will do next, but in Jane's existence, she is unaware of what will happen next. So Jane may still exist on her own continuous thread, even though I'm aware of what happens at the end of her existence. Now, like I said, C.S. Lewis does such a better job at explaining these analogies, at creating these mental pictures in order to take complicated ideas and make them much simpler for the reader. I'm so glad that I finally got to do this book review for Mere Christianity, as it is one of the most popular C.S. Lewis books, and it's one of my favorite C.S. Lewis books. But I highly recommend that whether you're reading this for the first time or the 100th time, or you simply want to get this book for somebody that you know so that they can chew on some of these tough, difficult ideas, I highly recommend that you go grab this book and read it. There's so much packed in to this short little book. There's a ton of history behind the making of this book, and there is a reason that this book is one of the most popular Christian books of all time. Alongside the Chronicles of Narnia, this book, Mere Christianity, absolutely puts C.S. Lewis into the Christian Author Hall of Fame. Mere Christianity is a true classic and will stand the test of time, as I know people will certainly pass this book down to their children and their grandchildren and their children and their children, because it is an extremely influential book and the ideas still stand strong. They're still true to this day. Just because the culture may have shifted does not mean that the mere basic tenets of Christianity, the basic ideas and arguments for why we believe in Christ, are still true. So yeah, I would definitely say that Mere Christianity is a timeless classic. While this book may have only been around for approximately 70 years, I am confident that because of the truths within this book, because of the sound arguments and ideas within this book, that it will be passed down from generation to generation, and it will certainly withstand the test of time. It's always difficult to try to do a brilliant work like Mere Christianity justice when doing a book review, but I've given it my all. I've really tried my best, and I hope that you've gotten something out of this content. Like I said before, there is a link in the description that you can follow to go grab this book and read it for yourself. I hope that you do, and if you have read this book, please tell me about your favorite part of this book in the comments down below. The reason that I first read this book was because my coworker told me that it was an excellent book, that if I liked the Chronicles of Narnia, then I would most likely love this book. So it's book recommendations like that that keep this book getting passed along and keep C.S. Lewis's brilliant work alive. Like always, I hope that you guys had an excellent time watching this video. I really hope you got something out of it. If you want to see more C.S. Lewis videos, if you want to see more book reviews, if you want to see my face more often, smash that subscribe button. If you want to see more content by me, follow me on Instagram. My link is down in the description below, but I'll be posting quotes and you'll get a sneak peek as to what will be coming up in the future. We are so close to finishing up this C.S. Lewis Signature Classic box set, so I'm going to be needing suggestions down below as to what you would like me to review next. We only have one more book in this collection to review, and that's it. Sure, I'm always reading books and I'm always doing reviews, but I want to know what you, the viewer, are interested in me reviewing. So feel free, leave that comment down below. But until next time, have an absolutely fantastical, wonderful day. Have a great day, guys.